When you was a kid, what did you want to be when you grew up? When I was a kid, at first, I wanted to be a policeman. I know, it sounds crazy. I guess it's because like when you were a kid, they would give you like 3 options. They were like to me, like in kid brain, for me, there were only like 3 professions. It was policeman, doctor, or fireman. Like those were the 3. Those were like the main 3. You know, because like when you call 911 or whatever, like it's like that's like the main 3 things, or like those are like the main 3, I guess, careers that people typically do, right? So I was like, I want to be a policeman. and then like I imagine myself like playing with like a little toy car like in the middle of the street or something. But then that changed way later in my life. When I was in middle school, I think it's when I started kind of developing more of like, oh, these are the real professions. And then I found out about archaeology, and I am a big history nerd. I like ancient mythology, pyramids, like all those kind of things, like just like world history in general. I always liked I always had an interest in like world history and like the past and like how like everything was done and whatever, you know, like how how did you build the pyramids, right? Or like who built Stonehenge, like shit like that. And I really like dinosaurs too. I always liked dinosaurs, and I always wanted to like discover like a new dinosaur if possible. So and I also really collected rocks and like I just anything that looked like a fossil, I always collected that too. Like I just like collecting things that looked cool or ancient, and I always wanted to discover like, you know, caves where like cavemen used to like drawn in and stuff like that. So when I found out about archaeology, I was like, oh yeah, that's what I want to do. I want to be an archaeologist. So for a long time, I just wanted to be an archaeologist. Like when I was a kid, when I was in middle school, and I had a really big interest in it, and I still kind of do. It's just I realized archaeology is a more realistically, it's not that exciting. It's a little bit more boring. You actually don't do a lot of that stuff, and you don't really go out and discover things like you used to. So it's kind of a bummer. But that was like my passion for a while. It was like archaeology. Then around high school, I started being more like, yeah, I kind of want to make music. So I sort of went that direction, not 100%. But I was also like in IT classes, so like I also had a big interest in like computers and stuff. And I always wanted to learn how to like hack and whatever. And so like that was like another thing that I kind of went through. And then, I mean, for a good while, I really wanted to be like, I always thought of the possibility of like, what if, can I just play games as like a career? Like I wanted to just have like a career that has to do with not necessarily creating games, but just like me playing them, which it led me into looking up into like playtesting. I didn't know that was a thing, and then I found out about it. But then I read that it's apparently kind of tedious sometimes and a little boring, because sometimes you gotta playtest games you don't want to playtest, and then you have to report like or like repeatedly do a task over and over for the game to be playtested. And I found that kind of like not that exciting, so I just didn't do that either. That was around high school too, and also like elementary school. And also when I was a kid as well, I wanted to be famous. So when I was in elementary school, I was like, I wish I could be famous like Hollywood actors, but not like super giga famous. Like I want to be like a low-key famous person, like one that I can still go outside and like, you know, not, oh fuck, I didn't mean to do that, and not get like recognized by everybody, and not have to like always be hiding, because if I go outside people would just swarm me. Like I wanted to be like one of those low-key famous, so I guess like a YouTube star at this point. But yeah, that was like another one thing that I thought about, like I wanted to do. But yeah, I did from very early, like when I was, I think it was middle school, I was like, I wish I could just play games and like get paid for it. So in a way, I've always had like, I mean, now it's just called streaming, right? But or content creating. But I've always had like that idea of like, I want to do this, you know, like I want this to be like a viable thing. That's really it. That's like all the things that I went through as a kid. For a while when I was in college, I got into film. I was like, maybe I'll just be like a film director or something, or like a cameraman. I do like camera work. I like making movies, or like I like doing all those kind of things. So that's why I like movies.